sorry. There's so many things I want to say, but...
No, by all means, what's stopping you?
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the most noteworthy moments when reporters lost their professional composure in front of the camera, either for comedic, tragic, or dramatic reasons.
Learn something important about this world.
Learned something that we all wish we didn't know.
Quentin Somerville. Making a news report right next to a burning pile of drugs may not be the best idea, especially if you aim to deliver a coherent piece. This realization seemed to dawn on the BBC's Middle East correspondent Quentin Somerville while he was filming a segment in Afghanistan. During the report, Somerville, apparently high from inhaling the fumes, barely makes it through the first sentence before he devolves into a fit of giggles.
Quick. Well, we just need one more.
What follows is a series of takes that are, unsurprisingly, more challenging as the reporter becomes increasingly more intoxicated. By their final attempt, Somerville is too far gone to get a single word out, and even his camera crew sound like they're similarly affected. Kate Humble. The Adhan, which is the Islamic call to prayer, holds significant importance in the Muslim faith.
As sunset approaches, Sammy wants me to experience Jeddah's unique call to prayer.
The resonant call is broadcast 5 times daily throughout Muslim communities and has a very poetic quality to it. In 2009, British journalist Kate Humble presented a 4-part program for the BBC, which documented her journey across the Middle East along the ancient frankincense trade route of Arabia.
From every direction.
36 mosques in 1 square kilometer. And it's been calling for 1,400 years.
While in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, Humble stood on a rooftop and had the unique chance to listen to the harmonious call of the Adhan emanating from over 30 mosques. The experience was so incredible that it moved her to tears.
It's such an incredible sight and sound that I find myself completely overcome.
Alex Savage. Nothing makes you appreciate life more than a near-death experience. In 2016, while reporting on a train derailment in the San Francisco Bay Area, Alex Savage, a journalist for KTVU in Oakland, California, found himself in a perilous situation.
And obviously it was a chaotic and confusing situation for him.
Live on television, a car suddenly swerved off the road, hurtling directly towards him. Savage's cameraman, Chip Vaughn, yelled at him to get out of the way, and he instinctively jumped to the right, narrowly avoiding the oncoming vehicle.
Just would like to thank Chip for... Thanks, buddy.
No,
you're all right. Yeah. You're all right. Thanks.
The realization of his incredible luck overwhelmed Savage with emotions as he went back on air after the incident. You could even hear his voice break while he expressed his gratitude to Vaughn for essentially saving his life.
I haven't been able to call him. Just want to tell my wife I'm okay.
Yeah.
And my family, yeah. So
we will
in case
do
they
that.
hear it online.
Diane King Hall. Even the most composed individuals can fall victim to good old toilet humor. Take CBS News reporter Diane King Hall, for example.
Coming soon to a bathroom near you, the leaning toilet. UK startup Standard Toilet claims people are spending 25% more time in office bathrooms, and not just for bodily functions, but as a time to check social media and text.
In 2019, her coverage of a story on downward tilting toilets took a quick tumble when she was overcome by an unexpected fit of giggles mid-report.
Sorry, you guys. The company says it could save millions of dollars per year. I'm sorry.
Not sure if it was the absurdity of the tilted toilet concept or the mental image of people falling off of them that sent her over the edge. Regardless, despite her typical professional demeanor, Hall loses her battle with laughter and is unable to regain her composure. In the end, she just asked to be cut off.
I'm sorry. I'm
Take a break,
Miss Diane. Bye, Diane. Cut her mic.
Have a great morning, Diane.
Let's face it, even seasoned reporters sometimes need a break from ridiculous stories. Zane Asher. In 2014, CNN correspondent Zane Asher had the unique opportunity to report on her own brother's nomination at the Academy Awards.
I could not sleep last night. I really couldn't. And you know, this was so emotional for me because this is I'm going to try not to cry, but
Asher's brother, actor Chiwetel Ejiofor, received a Best Actor nod for his performance in the eventual Best Picture winner, 12 Years a Slave. During her report, Asher got emotional as she shared the dedication Ejiofor had shown to his craft over the years.
He's been acting for, over 20 years. And so to finally see, recognition for his work is just, I can't even describe the feeling.
She also expressed just how special the long overdue recognition was for him and their family as a whole. At one point, Asher apologizes for tearing up, stating that she's never cried on TV before.
Yesterday was very emotional for me, my mother, both of my brothers, my sister. And so I wasn't even sure when I was listening to the nominations what was going to happen. But we're all so grateful.
But it's an entirely understandable reaction, given how rare it is to have an Oscar-nominated brother. Salmon AlBashir. In November 2023, Salmon AlBashir, a Palestine TV correspondent, delivered an emotional report outside a hospital in Gaza, where many victims of the conflict were brought. One of those was AlBashir's colleague, Palestine TV reporter Mohammed Abu Hattab.
Mohammed Abu Hattab became a martyr after he was with us here just 30 minutes ago. He was directly targeted.
Hattab, who had been reporting live from the same location just an hour earlier, was killed in an airstrike alongside 11 members of his family after he returned home.
We are all victims, waiting for our turn, one after the other. We are becoming the news at the end. This is a catastrophe and a misery. We cannot take it anymore.
The tragic news proved too much for AlBashir, who broke down in tears and ripped off his protective gear. Even the TV anchor on the split screen was visibly moved. AlBashir bemoaned the inadequate protection afforded to journalists and civilians, his impassioned pleas serving as a grim reminder of the harsh realities of war.
لا حماية دولية على الإطلاق ولا حصانة لأي شيء. لا تحملها هذه الدروع ولا تحملها هذه القبعات. إنها مجرد شعارات نرتديها فقط. هي لا تحمي أي صحفي على الإطلاق.
Mika Brzezinski. We've all had moments when we learn something that makes us burst into uncontrollable laughter. However, not all of us have encountered such a situation on live television.
19 people were hospitalized at a furry convention in Illinois after what's being called an intentional leak of chlorine
What's
gas.
a furry convention?
Did I get that wrong?
That was precisely the predicament faced by MSNBC host Mika Brzezinski in December of 2014. During a segment on Morning Joe, Brzezinski and her co-hosts were discussing a furry convention in Illinois that was disrupted by a chlorine gas leak.
The hotel guests, along with convention attendees, into the cold night, many still dressed in their furry costumes.
At first, Brzezinski was puzzled about the exact concept of a furry, but when she was brought up to speed by her co-hosts, she completely lost it, eventually running off the set after failing to contain her amusements.
Hey!
Guests came back inside at 4 a.m. Police still treat the matter as a criminal investigation.
Could you check on Mika, see if she's okay? She's over there somewhere.
Mika has left the building.
Shawn Williams. BBC Breakfast presenter Shawn Williams and her co-host Bill Turnbull interviewed stand-up comic Reginald D. Hunter about his show, The Truth.
It's the most courteous guest we've had on this morning. How did he greet you?
I said, nice to see you, and you said?
Nice to be seen by you, ma'am.
Hunter, who is originally from the U.S. but has lived and worked in the U.K. for years, brought a touch of American humor to the British panel. While he was being introduced, Hunter delivered a hilarious remark at Turnbull that tickled Williams and left her in stitches.
She'll want it all the time, though.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, man, sounds like you know your way around women. All right.
That's the biggest laugh I've had all week.
Good.
Williams was so amused that she found herself tearing up with laughter. Despite her best efforts, she struggled to regain her composure, forcing Turnbull to cut out of the studio to give her the time she needed to recover.
He does know his way around women, Reginald.
Sometimes it takes a long time to get there, too. Now, let's get last quick look. Heaven's sake, let's get last quick look at what's happening where you are, and we'll try and compose ourselves.
Sarah Sidner. The COVID-19 pandemic brought significant changes to people's daily lives worldwide. In the U.S., one particularly devastating consequence was the overcrowding of funeral homes, to the point where families had to find unconventional ways to lay their loved ones to rest.
The cruelness of COVID-19 on display. This is a funeral in a parking lot.
In 2021, CNN's Sarah Sidner did a report on one such family who were forced to hold a funeral service in a parking lot. By the time the camera cut back to the journalist, she could only manage a few words before struggling to hold back tears.
This is the 10th hospital that I have been. I'm sorry. This is the 10th. I apologize.
Both Sidner and host Allison Camerata, who was also visibly emotional, took the opportunity to emphasize the importance of following the necessary precautions to avoid facing similar heartbreaking situations.
It's really hard to take. I'm sorry, Allison.
Hey, Sarah, no apology. No apology needed.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Graham Satchel. In November 2015, a series of coordinated terrorist attacks in Paris, France, claimed the lives of 130 people and left more than 400 people injured.
Paris has paid a heavy price in the face of terrorism, but we are standing tall and we will stay standing tall.
BBC's Graham Satchel was in Paris reporting on the aftermath of the attacks when he found himself overwhelmed with emotions live on air.
Last night it was incredibly busy. There were vigils here, there were vigils at the Eiffel Tower.
As he recounted the tragic events, as well as the resilience of the French people, Satchel struggled to contain himself, eventually losing his composure and cutting his report short. Once the cameras cut back to the studio, the journalist, who was clearly distressed, walked out of the frame.
Certainly hope here in Paris, anyway, but that is back to you.
Graham, thank you very much indeed, and I know it has been a hugely difficult, distressing time for everybody who has been involved in that story.
Satchel's genuine emotional response resonated with viewers, many of whom commended him on social media for his brave and compassionate reporting. What TV reporters have you witnessed losing their cool live on air? Let us know in the comments below.
She's done. Get a new news anchor.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.